We will let it see how it goes. You got them already in the call queue. I told you, man, this is a hot topic. You know, sad that we have to talk about it, but hey.
Yeah, but it's got to get talked about at a certain point, because
yes, it does.
Hey guys, welcome back to Liminal Period. It's your girl Chun-Li Shoddy. So the comment section following the Nick Cannon video where he shared his perspective as to how the Black community at our core is conservative really inspired me to have today's conversation. And I want to kick off the conversation by sharing a throwback video. I'm not sure if you guys could recognize from the intro clip, but today we're going to be watching a snippet of a conversation from ABL's YouTube channel, or Anthony Brian Logan, where he sat down with the late and great Mr. Kevin Samuels and talk about Black men and their political views. So without further ado, let's get into it.
And people they want to, it's something that it's like a kind of a recurring theme. It always gets brought up, so it's just like, why not just have a show dedicated to just that?
That very much so. And I would say I was surprised, but I was pleasantly surprised at how many people actually sent me inboxes and text messages, letter after letter after letter, saying, I know exactly what you mean. Can you do part 2? And I did a show Tuesday night entitled Am I Black Too? And even with that, I still have more people coming in saying, I grew up this way. And I said, it's going to be on us to reclaim what it means to be Black and male in this country. The fact that gangster rap and all this other stuff has came in, and you know, however we got here, we're here.
That's right.
The us's of the world, we gotta say enough and combat the Pookies and the Ray Rays, because I'll be doggone, man. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it.
I'm with you.
So as I mentioned, this is a throwback video, and this conversation actually occurred 6 years ago. Okay, and I think it's very important for us to understand the timeline, because Kevin Samuels became very popular maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it was off of the clips of him telling women that you're average at best, right? But a lot of people fail to understand that Kevin Samuels actually had a platform and was having conversations with young men on how to build their value within America, and in particular, how for young Black men to level up in America, okay, and become more valuable people of society. And so again, I ask, how many of you guys have actually seen this footage? How many? Because again, like I said, like a lot of you guys were in my comment section saying that, hey, Chun-Li, like we agree, like Black people are conservative at our core. However, the conservative party that we see today is not representative of who we are as a community. And another comment was, hey, I really dislike it when channels and YouTubers start to interject politics into their conversations. It is very important for us to have these conversations, because if you guys watch my video as to why Gen Z have horrible marriage rates and are just, you know, unable to keep a relationship, and that's just all of Gen Z in totality, is because their differing views of values and what they care about, as well as how it ties into their politics. And it's an unfortunate conversation. And that's why I, again, want to share this video, because I thought this intro was oh so fitting. Okay, because no, this is not a conversation that I want to have. This is not a conversation that Kevin wanted to have. And honestly, on top of that, this is an observation that I've noticed. It's not a conversation that people are interested in. And that's the unfortunate part. We are so distracted and we are so interested in all of the toxic conversations dividing and polarizing men and women, white people and Black people, everybody. But we don't want to have the honest conversations. And then that's why so many of my videos, I constantly ask you guys, what is the solution? How do we have certain conversations? How do we deliver the truth? But people do not care enough to understand how the conversation is connected. So anyways, rant over, back to ABL and Kevin Samuels.
So we are live now. You know, you can see that we got the logo off. It's just, you know, we did both of us talking. But yeah, see the whole thing, I'm with you on that. And it's got to stop. You know, if people don't know what we're talking about, if they're just coming into the stream and they didn't see the preview video, basically what we're going to talk about today is, you know, the struggles of being a black male conservative or a black conservative in general, if you're female, and just what we go through by being black, and then having, you know, people that are against us just because we're black. Like, we can't be positive, we can't be forward thinking, we can't be productive people, we can't think differently. And, you know, what he was talking about, what Kevin was talking about, the Pookies and the Ray Rays, the bad people in the black community, for some reason they get praised, they get treated like kings, but those of us that are doing the right thing somehow do not get treated that way. So that's going to be the main topic of tonight.
Yeah, I'd like everybody to think back to the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. All American, good, clean, wholesome fun. But think about when you say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you think of the Will Smith character, you think of the Carlton character. The Will Smith character came from Philly, streets, funny, such and so forth. But the Carlton character was the character that a lot of people resonated with, but they made jokes up about him because he was corny, because he wanted to go to a good school, because he spoke proper English, because he had the nerve to be politically informed and wanted to do something with himself. He was the butt of every joke. And for a lot of folks, that was just humor. But for many of us in the black community, that's how we live. We're the butt of every joke. We're not considered to be men. You know, it's almost like, you know, they don't use the term Oreo, but I say we're too white for the black community by their standards. And who decided that?
Right.
Who decided that? But yet we get labeled with that moniker to the point to where people just keep their head down, because we get to the point where you're like, well, that's just the way it is. And when you start doing that, the Pookies and the Ray Rays of the world win, because we've just taken a back seat. And what we want to do is start having a conversation saying, well, wait a minute. If you've ever felt this way, you've ever had to physically dumb yourself down, hood your language up, whatever, so you can fit in, it's time for you to actually start using your voice and saying enough is enough. Let people know that we're out here. And because I actually think we outnumber them, we just don't talk about it.
That's right. I think we do. We most certainly do. It's like we're scared to. We're scared to come out and talk about, you know, how we are, how we want to be, because of the shame and tactics and stuff like that. But there's more of us. Just a regular everyday guy going to work every day, doing what we got to do. There's more of us than it is of those that want to work against us. So all we got to do is just speak up. We're the silent majority. All we got to do is speak up and just let ourselves be known.
You know, I'm reading a comment at the last video I had, and it was this is why every time I think about expressing myself openly, I remember that people hate the truth and originality. And so I go back into my shell. And that's the thing that man said, you know what, every time I think about doing this, I know people aren't going to like it, so I stop. Or you'll see a lot of men talking about, you know, I'm a smart guy, and people will think I'm lame. You know, walking around editing themselves to fit this narrative that we didn't create. I didn't create this narrative. And I remember in 89 and 91, when gangster rap really took off. I left college one spring and came back in the fall, and women wanted corporate thugs. And I was like,
like, what is that? What does that mean?
I know. I'm like, what is a corporate thug? And I had it was on a relationship panel, and women were sitting back here. Now, mind you, in 89 and 91, when gangster rap really took off, I left college one spring and came back in the fall, and women wanted corporate thugs. And I was like,
like, what is that? What does that mean?
I know. I'm like, what is a corporate thug? And I had it was on a relationship panel, and women were sitting back here. Now, mind you, some of these women have gone on to argue before the Supreme Court. But some of these very women say, yeah, I want a man who can go out and take care of his business, make moves, but then at home, have to come home from work, know how to handle business. I'm like, that's just a man. But they wanted this chic Tupac thing, and I think a big part of the problem is, like I said, a lot of us as young men, we were learning our way and not so busy doing our thing, and look up is out of hand. But the silent majority has to speak up, and I think conversations like this help, because seeing two guys actually who don't agree on everything, but agree on this central point. I've said this to ABL before. There are a lot of people on YouTube who love to come at you for various different reasons. But I always ask the same question. Would you rather have ABL, a neighborhood of ABLs, or would you rather have a neighborhood of Pookies and Ray Rays? Because you can't have both. Who do you want next door to you? What do you want in your neighborhood? And who would you want your daughter to bring home?
That's right. I mean, you said it perfectly right there. Because, you know, a lot of us, people like myself and yourself, many other people in the chat, you know, we get living with the whole coon, Uncle Tom, sellout, house Negro, all this and that. But it's like, okay, where's all the anger? Where's all the vitriol towards people that are actually hurting the community every single day in the black community? You know, the people that really need to be reprimanded for some reason don't. Like, what's going on? Maybe it's they're scared of them. Maybe they think that somehow they deserve sympathy. Maybe they don't want them to get better. You know, I can't really, but I think the people that are like in civil rights, a lot of politicians, I think there's a famous quote from Booker T. Washington, if I'm not mistaken. You know, there's a class of black people out there that do not want the patient to get better, because if they do get better, then they'll lose their jobs. If people, if they get off the street and to make something of themselves, they would no longer be useful. So at a certain point, maybe they're out here treating people like pawns, like useful idiots, having them do their bidding so they're able to keep going. They're able to keep getting money. That's how it is with a lot of politicians. They want to have people right where they want them so they're able to continue to manipulate them and do whatever they want.
You know, I remember when growing up, I was born in 1969, for anybody who cares. So I'm 48 years old. As soon as I could register to vote, I registered Republican. And an entire family full of Democrats, Baptist upbringing, you know, church, very family oriented in the church and so forth. People ask me, why in the heck would you register for Republican? Your family's Democrat. I'm like, yeah, you are. But I believe in smaller government, laissez-faire economics. I'm a hustler. I'll make it. I wanted to go to medical school at the time, and I had never cast a vote before. I took so much heat for registering as a Republican. And at the time, it was me, J.C. Watts, and somebody else. There wasn't a lot of black male Republicans in Oklahoma. But what I noticed is everyone wanted to register Democrat because it was an easier feeling. But they would go vote, and then they'd leave. And I'm like, the Democrats aren't on your side. These social programs make you feel good, but so does alcohol and cigarettes and drugs. Eventually, you got to get on with life. And that's where a lot of conservative thought runs amok with a lot of people on the left, because it's harder. It's a harder path. It's honorable. It's morals. There are rules and standards. And it's easier to live a life that's unaccountable, especially if you came from a background where you may have been raised by a single parent like I was, a background where, you know, people expected less of you. It's comfortable, but it doesn't help you. And there's something inside of each and every man that says, I don't like this. I want to kill what I eat. I want to do better. And when we decide to actually say, I want these things, the group would rather pull us back down. So it takes us a lot of effort and strength to break free. And then when we're free, we're out here on our own. And then we get called all those beautiful names, which I'm going to let ABL kind of go in on right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, the names we get called, like, I'd have been called so many different names. Like, usually on the internet, especially, that's the main place. People feel like they have the shoot of anonymity. They have confidence. They're able to say how they feel in their hearts without actually saying it to my face. You know, I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'3", over 200 pounds. So I'm not the kind of guy you just want to come up and say anything to. So they feel like they can do it on the internet. They're able, really, I think a lot of that is like their own personal insecurity and what they've been told their whole life. Maybe they're not really where they want to be in life. So then they rely on what they've been taught their whole life, or what they think is a correct thing by coming at a person like me. But like I was saying, they don't want to come at the real people that actually mean them harm. It's really kind of a crazy culture, and it keeps us behind. It keeps us in a state of dependency. So that's why I think this hangout right now is good. And I'm going to get to a few callers here because the phone line is blowing up right now.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that clip. But as mentioned, I wanted to share this very specific conversation because it occurred 6 years ago, A. B, so many of you guys did mention how you guys enjoy my perspective. And I do think that to an extent, I have very similar values and perspective as ABL and Kevin Samuels, you guys have to understand that there is nothing new underneath the sun. So it is just understanding what the truth is, okay? Because a lot of people have asked me, like, why are you in the manosphere, or why are you in red pill space? And it's just like, well, why shouldn't I as a female know what the truth is? Why not, right? And again, I want to share this video because I asked you guys, how many of you guys actually saw this conversation when it aired? I know they were on a live stream, so there were a lot of loyal followers that Kevin Samuels and ABL had that were a part of the conversation. However, this video only had 10,000 views. And I'm only saying this and I'm only sharing this as insight, okay? And if I find that video, because it was actually a very entertaining real life moment of realization for one of my favorite YouTubers, but it is very easy for us to be distracted by what is going on in the media, what is going on in social media is very...
The volunteering of women to objectify themselves, bro. Like, you got women out here congratulating the horse, bro. Like, women do not stand a chance. Not stand a chance. And then you got shit like this. Now I'm thinking about mine, bro. I've been doing this content creation for fucking 5 years now, bro. 5 years now, dog. I ain't cracked a milli on shit, bro. Just been hours and hours and hours of content, bro. Thinking, brainstorming, collabing, all types of shit. And all this, I ain't gonna say bitch, all this little girl has to do, when she ain't have to do nothing. Society had to be as retarded as it is and come wind of some girl saying a joke in the bachelorette city of America, and this shit go viral like that. 1.1 million followers in a matter of days, bro. That shit got me tight, though. I ain't even think about that. That shit got me tight as fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? Only I'd have to be some big swole ass, you know, non-binary, pansexual up here saying some shit to compete with that. That's what I would have to do. Cause that's what get the views, dog. That's how fucked society is, bro. That's how fucked society is, dog. 1.1 million views, bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? And this is what I'm talking about, bro. Who is this? Welcome to my world. Oh, look at whatever pod. Look at them. They trying to get that collab, boy. Whatever podcast be on it, motherfuckers. That'd be a bag for their ass, bro. But look at me. I'm falling victim to the shit. Cause all that's doing is perpetuating the fucking problem, bro. Like, damn, dog. That was hypocritical as shit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's much harder to stand up for your own morals and values, okay? And it is definitely a lot harder for you to think for yourself. So going back to the comment section, how a lot of people were saying, yes, Chun-Li, I agree. We are conservative. Black people are conservative. However, the conservative party of the Republican right wing today does not represent who I am. And I ask you this. Like I said, this video, this conversation, this super important conversation that Kevin Samuels and ABL had that I definitely think you guys need to check out, only had 10,000 views, okay? How are we going to see ourselves represented? How are we going to see our views and our values and our perspective highlighted if we don't actually support it? If we don't actually go out and support the people that we believe in that are saying this messaging, because there is a middle, okay? Like, you have to understand that there is a middle, and that's where most of people are. Most people are average. And I say this time and time again, and like literally it's a running theme here, okay? Most of us are average, but the thing is, what's going on in politics, we only have two parties to choose from in America. And that is an unfortunate situation, but it is a reality, okay? Like I said, I don't want to have these conversations. It is so uncomfortable. And like I said, I also thought that this is like a no-brainer because I've heard this so many times. And if it's not overtly stated, I've heard so many people that are affluential and influential within the Black community speak on conservative values. However, those are not the ideas and the clips that we see go viral for some reason. And again, I say it is a algorithm problem, but it's also an us problem, because what are we doing? Are we sharing the videos? Are we liking the videos? Are we engaging in the comment section when we see something that we agree with? And again, we don't have to agree on everything. Challenge me on some of my thoughts. And like I said, I will be back in the comment section, but sometimes I'm just like, why can't we just have the conversation? And why don't people want to do it? Because like I said in my video about why Gen Zs are not getting married, it's because we're in a gender war. And this gender war has a lot to do with the feminist ideology that's coming from the left. Okay? So are we coming back to the full circle moment yet? So again, I apologize that this video has to be political, and you know what? I'll do some more pop of the balloon, toxic, viral content if you guys want. But again, like I told you guys, and that's why I broke down in my live stream, is that I don't want to sit here and just continue to talk about what is bad within the culture. However, that seems to be the only way people are going to listen. So anyways, I don't know if you guys stuck around to the end of this monologue, but I've enjoyed this conversation. Do check out the conversation that ABL had with Kevin Samuels, and I look forward to speaking again with you guys next time. Bye.